I don't know how we're supposed to do it, but we're back. After a Season 3 that saw some of the most incredible racing and some of the most ridiculous crashes in TOECAR history, we have to try and one-up it for Season 4 of the TOECAR Splint Cup series and the Garbage Truck series. Let's take a look at the drivers we're going to see.
Wait, what? Who the fuck are you?
No. Clink, I told
Where
you
the
not
fuck
to
is
cut-
Milkster? What the fuck is going on?
Most of you know me as the guy who used to run Conard East before his untimely demise. Unfortunately, Milkster got stuck in a revolving door while taking a tour of New York City this year for the TOECAR banquet.
Get me out of here!
He said in his will that if he ever got in a perilous accident with some serious misfortune, that I needed to continue making the Hater's Guide. Now, he'll be fine once we get him out, but in order to get this out in time, I've had to pick it up, so you'll be hearing from me. He wrote most of the script, so direct all of your disagreements and hatred towards him. Now, without further ado, let's get started and look at the drivers for Season 4 of TOECAR.
Yoink! Yoink!
After a season of ups and downs, Fred's moving up to Cup. He's looking to continue the momentum that got him a win, and not keep wrecking. He wants to keep rolling in the positive way.
Yoink!
In a season that felt almost like a carbon copy of Season 2, Raymond Hans was once again irrelevant the entire year with only one top 5 and 2 top 10s. This time he might not have made the playoffs, but he remains a mainstay in Splint for a 4th straight season, the only driver to be in Splint for all 4 seasons but not win a race in that time. Well, the only one that's stated and not needed a fan vote, like Chunk. It's time for Raymond to get his first win. Put up or shut up.
Yoink!
He's okay, I guess.
Yoink!
You drive at a race, guy.
Yoink!
What a season it was for Octavius last year. He went from what felt like an absolutely terrible outing to one of the top 3 Truck Series points transfers, even though he had 0 top 5s. Thankfully, he's remembered the future so he can continue to try to vent the bad ending his timeline had.
Yoink!
Wally had a really up and down Season 3. After winning a race and then immediately blowing his engine, he had some injuries, some setbacks, and a couple good finishes here and there. I mean, he had the win, so I guess all the chaos doesn't really matter now that he's in Splint. He's driving a Jag. You know, hopefully this will be the first reliable Jaguar to ever roll off the line.
Yoink!
I don't really know how this guy does it. First manages to be the most forgettable driver every year, but he's won a couple races and been in Splint for 3 seasons in a row now, which is nothing easy. He's probably not the best to bet on if you want to find a championship winner, but he's definitely somebody who won't get kicked back to a lower series. Gotta say though, he's got to step up on the line and take some shots if he wants to run for a title.
Yoink!
Maybe the most popular fan vote winner ever, David Krappenschutz is back for a 3rd season. He's in Cup, and I think this time he'll make the most of his opportunity. Maybe he can take Snoopy on the ride of a lifetime.
Yoink!
Frankly, I'm amazed that Tatuma Sato is still in the Splint Cup series. He may have won the Season 2 opener at Daytona, but since then he was so bad he had almost forced himself into retirement with his bad performance. He only got a couple top 10s at the end of last season to save his Splint Cup career. Maybe now that his team, Tama Motorsports, has a Truck Series championship, they'll be able to pull things together and give him a better car for this next season. But if they don't, Tatuma might be looking at a ride in the Truck Series, or maybe even retirement.
Yoink!
The first ever recipient of a retcon championship in NR 2003 history as far as I can tell, Naked still has something to prove. Hasn't won a championship straight up, and now he's got a golden chance to defend the Astros one that he was given.
Yoink!
Wyatt continues to show off why deer belong in cars as he gets another win, another championship spot, and continues to be 7 times better than most of the field. And to continue the season, I'm expecting, I think 2 wins is fair.
Yoink!
After a pretty relevant Season 2, Preston showed everyone he's here to stay, to the point where he literally died and came back. Preston dominated the whole season basically, and I fully expect him to continue this domination into the 4th season and onward, and claim his first career win.
Yoink! Yoink!
After winning at Riki, everything was lined up for this poor bastard to die a gruesome death at Pyongyang. However, he miraculously survived, as actually graduated to Splint Cup instead of graduating to a coffin like the last couple fills. Philip was pretty good in his first season. We'll see what he can do in Splint Cup this season. 3 Splint Cup starts, 2 top 10s, 2 top 5s, and a win. Coldstone is going to absolutely slaughter the field out there. After the tragedy that was South Boston in Season 2, I wasn't expecting ever to see this guy again. All of a sudden, he's back after Yora's dead, and he is absolutely incredible. Everybody better watch out for this guy, or else he might become a Stone Cold champion in Kansas.
Yoink!
Nothing really much to say here. I mean, at least he's in this video.
Yoink!
Oh my god, what a terrible season Season 3 was for Kurt and Kyle. After how good he was in Season 2, you'd think he'd be able to finish, I don't know, better than... What's this? 4,839th? Nope, couldn't do that. What a real shame, Kurt and Kyle. You gotta turn it around.
Yoink!
Hold on. He's in? Without the fan vote? That's incredible. I didn't think he could actually drive. I mean, he didn't make the playoffs, but he still managed to stay in Splint on points and talent. And talent he didn't have before. I was going to give up hope, but this is the best story maybe ever. And I think Chuck might be able to win a race this year.
Yoink!
Tyrese Halifax surprised me this season. He actually brought speed to a track that wasn't Talladega. Mainly because there wasn't Talladega, but that's beside the point. Tyrese showed why he's a champion out there this season. Despite missing the playoffs, he gets to hold up his spot in Cup and return to another season.
Yoink!
Oh my god, that was an awful season. An absolutely horrific season outside of his win at Talladega. Just wreck after dealing the finishing blow to Sarah, getting asphalted by glucose maxing, missed 2 races, and still wrecked in the finale. It was just terrible all around.
Yoink!
If one Busch fails, the other one does too. Can't really have it any other way here. Thankfully, both got back with the fan vote, but good lord, for please sake, you gotta do better this time.
Yoink!
At this point, how can you bet against Zach Outback? He's the undisputed greatest TOECAR driver of all time, and frankly, anything short of at least one win in the top 5 run of the championship would be a huge disappointment. That Budweiser Holden Commodore seems to be absolutely loaded with speed every week.
Yoink!
Weed Trimo went from being a storm chaser to being the storm this season. Let's just see the highlights. Daytona, he killed Bellagio. Homestead, he drove head-on into some barrels. Avis, he went barrel rolling. I'm sure there are more, but it's a good thing he's in that Dominator, otherwise he would probably be dead.
Yoink!
Clink is sporting a new sponsor for this season, and after making it back on points without having to use the fan vote, I think we might be able to see him turn the corner this year. I don't know if he'll win a race, but I definitely think good things are coming.
Yoink!
After having a terrible wreck in practice, you would think Shaq would be at a disadvantage, but nope. He started 39th and finished first at Daytona before swiftly doing absolutely nothing for the rest of the regular season and getting dunked on at Kansas. Ironic for Shaq. Exactly how last year ended. Please get this man some lessons at Kansas so he can be a little bit more clutch. Please, I beg you.
Yoink!
I'm starting to think this guy should have been accepted instead of Brady Kraft for Season 1. A third place run in points definitely outdoes having your identity stolen and being killed on a test session. Just hope he doesn't forget to add water to his Mac before this oncoming season. That would be bad.
Yoink!
In Season 1, David Gutterball was literally the worst full-time driver and had to come back on the fan vote. Same song, different verse for Season 2. Season 3? He finishes 3rd or better 3 times and wins a race? I think he might actually be the GOAT now. That's kind of an incredible turnaround.
Yoink!
This poor guy. Limburger's season started about as bad as it possibly could have, as every relative of his who has ever been in a car ended up in a catch fence, it seems. But he came through a Ricky, getting redemption for Asiago in Season 1, and now he's one of 2 drivers to win in every season. Limburger is a threat week in and week out.
Yoink!
Moving back to Splint Cup this time, UCan't returns with a massive trophy on his shelf and a target on his back. You know what's happened to the last 2 lower series championships? They went up and got demoted again. Hopefully UCann can avoid the curse, but honestly, I'm not too confident.
Yoink!
The Colonel absolutely cooked this season, dominating at the end of Avis, and then recreating how his barrel roll from Atlanta at Season 1 went at Ricky. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be for him at Kansas, but hopefully he can get back there again and compete for another championship with even more of his car deep fried now.
Yoink!
We've got to face facts here. Tethrima is approaching Western catch-up levels of fraud. Despite the good last few weeks of Season 3, Tethrima still has no wins in his career, and a championship he really only won by sabotage and good luck.
Yoink!
I don't really have anything for him. I don't remember seeing Backshot Jones once other than Pyongyang and CRI. Yeah, he made the playoffs after Harold folded in the last race, which was very unfortunate. Now we got to see how this really nice looking 68 car does in Splint.
Yoink!
What a ride it's been. After losing her grandson and her son, you would think Claire wouldn't want to be in a 30-mile radius of a race car. But she's brave, she's strong, and she races on. You know what? She's even won a race. By far the best driver out of the Pressure family, she looks to carry that luck as the first Pressure to drive in the Splint Cup series. You go get him, Grandma.
Yoink!
Neil had a really rough time in his first Splint Cup season. It was hard to watch, and he was far from on fire, which, to be fair, he would probably prefer. But now he's back in Splint because of the fan vote, and maybe he can reward their vote of confidence.
Yoink!
Ollie is making a damn good case as to why he should always be considered a threat, not just because he won a race, but because he also murdered Yora at Ricky. I'd be scared around this guy. I'm gonna need some new pants.
Yoink!
Dale Bernhardt really surprised me this time around. I was really expecting him to just laze around and not do anything, but he came dangerously close to making the playoffs, if not for really studs. Luckily for him, they get to share the track again, so we might see a little bit of vengeance, and hopefully not one of them ending up in the catchments at Daytona.
Yoink!
He's not anybody's cup anymore. He's an independent man, and now after having to get back via the fan vote for Season 3, this time he's back on points. It's hard to tell what he's going to do this season, considering how drivers can go from absolutely ridiculous to championship contenders overnight. Man, it's almost like their statistics are just randomized.
Pancakes!
After finally getting some nourishment thanks to Rustard,
Morgan!
likes to run just as good as he did in trucks and compete for some wins. Hopefully he can do so, or he might be in danger of having a final calorie deficit.
Yoink!
Back for another run at the championship, Lemmy pulled off the incredible Matt Crafton run last season after going winless and pretty much being invisible the entire season except Kansas. I actually forgot he was even in the playoffs until we rolled into Kansas. Please be relevant this time. I can hardly even remember that you won the championship. You shouldn't forget that.
Yoink!
Even in age 99, Harold Claude is still going strong and primed for a possible career season. He's never stayed in the same series 2 years in a row, so this will be the first time he started a new season in a car he's driven before. Harold has come agonizingly close to winning his first race, and I think he breaks through this season, as long as he avoids scraped angina.
Yoink!
So, he kind of lied to us last season, and I'm not happy, so I'm not going to be nice. I'd have more faith in flipping a coin and having it land on its side than in Joplin winning a race. Alright, you know what? Fine, I'll actually give him a prediction. Here's what he's going to do. Wreck, fence, wreck.
Yoink!
Who could have seen that coming? Scubs did a whole lot of nothing in Splint. 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and he only missed by 9 points. He's going back to the bottom series after that, where, honestly, it really seems like he belongs. He should probably stay there.
Yoink!
Unfortunately, that went about as well as her first run in Cup. More crashes, more concussions, and now she's in the Truck Series, which by NASCAR standards is where things don't typically go well for people who have come down from Cup. This could be the end for her, but I really hope it's not, so she can set the Guinness World Record for most concussions.
Yoink!
Sadly, the season of redemption didn't play out the way Muskie wanted, and this time he's been demoted to the Truck Series for the first time in his career. I think the tungsten might be slowing him down with the weight. As we continue into Season 4, more and more of the original drivers from Season 1 continue to dwindle. Hopefully Zachary won't be the next veteran to fall. Hopefully not, considering all the schemes are based off of monster trucks, and he's in a truck now.
Yoink!
This season was rough for Jake, to say the least. Went from being a runner-up to having a... Wait, is he even in this season? Oh, thanks. Here's a highlight video of him. Oh, well, look on the bright side. He gets to race with his brother again.
Yoink!
Not know ball, but I do know TOECAR. LeBron Kiedis is going to have an incredible season. I think he's a dark horse to win the championship. I don't think he's going to, fall on the ground like the other guy who has a similar name does. I'm fully expecting at least a win from LeBron Kiedis this season, if not more.
Yoink!
Walter remains in the Truck Series once more, and honestly, with how invisible he was in Season 2, I think he might belong there. He was certainly more relevant than he was in the past 2 seasons, and hopefully this time he can get his first career win.
Yoink!
Ginger once again was unable to outperform his brother, getting trapped in the Truck Series for another season. It was a rough Season 3. He forgot how to turn right after having that expensive surgery. Now the only way he can do it is through some very severe pain. I know, if that was me, I'd just pull a Shea Burns and drive straight into a wall personally. I'm not about that. But, I mean, he's fine with it, so maybe some of the pressure will be off and he can get back to Splint again.
Yoink!
This little shorty is back in trucks for another season, which is probably for the best after he killed Braden Bunch. I wouldn't really trust him in a cup car. So Tiny has another season of trucks ahead of him, coming up 6 points away from the promotion. Has got a sting, but honestly, skill issue. Be a better driver.
Yoink!
Before this season, Camaro was about as irrelevant as a person could possibly be. But this season he was known for two things, being a terrorist and being terrorized by everybody else on the track. So I guess his actions are kind of justified with how awful he's been. And how awful everything has been this season.
Yoink!
Alright, let me summarize this up real fast. He didn't really do anything. He's got scoliosis. That's it.
Yoink!
Tristan's favorite driver, Mateus Paiva, had given up his seat Justin Marks style, but he's back from the fan vote. Let's hope he can find that Season 1 speed. It's been gone since Avis in Season 1.
Yoink!
Oh no, he's back. I mean, why can't this guy go away? Oh, I gotta give Babe this. He was less of a terrorist this time. He was actually pretty clean in trucks, so maybe this is where he's always belonged. I mean, who knows? He could sneak a win in there and contend for a playoff spot, but I mean, at the rate we're going, a satellite could fall on the track, and I would be about as equally surprised.
Yoink! Yoink!
After the draft, Ruster got his championship back, and my joke is completely ruined. No more laughing at him. I mean, he did pretty okay this last season. Not great, just okay. Now with 2 full seasons in the lower division, I hope he's a threat this time. It would be a real shame, because he's always got a pretty nice looking vehicle.
Yoink!
So let me try to understand this. How do you go from being the absolute worst driver in Season 1 to being a fringe playoff contender in Season 2, and then going from that to just not even being there for Season 3? I don't think I saw this dude once, and I know you didn't either.
Yoink!
Holy nothing burger, Batman.
Yoink!
Chicken McNugget had potential to be the greatest driver pairing ever. Instead, all they did was absolutely nothing and had to rely on the commentator vote. Chicken Nugget's the GOAT that can drive pretty well, and I don't know what Mick's doing. Mick might be a fraud.
Yoink!
The youngest of the 4 Asiagos, Gouda has had the absolute worst entry you can imagine in a TOECAR. It's not that her performance was bad, it's just that I don't think she's gone through more possible grief than anybody in TOECAR, except for maybe Aaron and Claire Pressure. I mean, hell, she's got her deceased brother's urn sitting in her truck now. And it's possessed. What are we doing here, man? 70's in the lower series for the first time. Let's hope that relieves a little bit of the baggage from taking Bellagio's spot.
Yoink!
Joe Swanson's bad luck caught up to him after avoiding all of it in Season 2. Just a bunch of terrible crashes. Now he's back in the truck series. I mean, he's still got an absolutely hit over paint scheme, and he can walk now. The Simon system hopefully won't have any errors this time.
Yoink!
Dad, gum.
Yoink!
All I can really say is, yikes, that was pretty bad. I mean, when your highlight of the season is winning a quarter of a race, you just know it's a disaster. Just an all-around catastrophe. I don't think it was possible for Master Chris to be put out a week for injury, but Ricky proved otherwise. Hopefully he can get some payback and find his way back to Splint. I am, however, extremely scared just now we have Babe Jude, Massive Chris, and Charlie XXL all in the same series, dear God.
Yoink!
Last season made me really sad because I thought Elliot Daniel Lights, my personal GOAT, was gone. But oh my God, bless the booth. They brought him back and I'm so happy they did. This is my GOAT, and if he didn't come back, let's just say a certain casino will be going down. But never mind, it's not important.
Yoink!
Man, this poor doctor. He must have had marinara like 4 times this season, and he keeps trucking on. It's pretty impressive. So this truck got destroyed every week, and he just stayed in the playoff fight to the end. Who knows? He might be invincible.
Yoink!
During his races in hell, Dick was absolutely incredible, dominating the bus race, which totally wasn't rigged, and then winning the finale in dominant fashion as everybody else got wrecked. I think this might be the greatest driver of all time. Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Burton, Dave Marcus, and Mike Skinner. Nobody has anything for Dick Shitfart.
Yoink!
Yeah, his second splint didn't really go how I was hoping it would for sure, but he did win a race. It was just a little late, you know. Either way, I think just like in Season 2, Kobe's going to be an easy driver to look out for this season. Hopefully he won't be like the real Kobe and refuse to pass.
Yoink!
After running the greatest truck ever made, which sadly won't be returning, Corey brought back some of his Season 1 greatness that he lost in Season 2. Unfortunately, he still couldn't make the playoffs and is stuck in trucks for another season, but hopefully he can rekindle the amount of aura he had last season, alongside the consistency he had in Season 1 this time.
Yoink!
After getting unwillingly sobered up at CRI, Dewey's back to his former self, and I don't mean his Season 1 self, I just mean he's drunk again. 3 months drunk. Hopefully he gets back to victory lane at some point. It really sucks not seeing him perform.
Yoink!
Andrew has had about as many highlights this season as Jake Joe, so unsurprisingly, he's back into the truck series and will look to find the consistency he had in Season 2. I guess that crash on lap 1 at Pyongyang really messed with his brain and he forgot how to drive. But who knows, maybe he's just a Goodies lifer. In that case, he's kind of screwed because there isn't a Goodies series anymore. And so there it is. Those are all your returning drivers for Season 4 of TOECAR. We'll now take a brief look at the newcomers. Wow, those are all the newcomers. Hopefully they will perform up to your particular expectations and desires. We don't quite know exactly where the season will take us yet, both metaphorically and literally, as we don't know any race dates past Daytona. But we know that after the season opens at Daytona Beach, it'll be several great weeks of racing ahead of us. Thank you to Milkster and Vuchko for their help making this. I've been Conardy's Ghost, and go TOECAR.